A lot of our cell phones today have great quality cameras. You don't have to do a full blown production for your first couple videos. Like, you can absolutely come up with a concept, shoot it with your phone, or run a contest with your fan base. Go, hey, here's the single. Why don't you guys, you know, run a contest? Whoever makes the best video will get first dibs when the whole album comes out, or you'll send them merch, make sure they get credit for it, all that kind of stuff. Like,
Right.
this is how you're engaging your audience, making them a part of your process. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Vana room. Hope you've all had a great weekend. We are here once again with fantastic information to provide with you. As always, my boss, Rob Lee, is here.
Hello.
Owner of Jamvana. If you've not checked out Jamvana, go ahead and log on to jamvana.com, see what Jamvana is all about and why Rob is just so full of knowledge about digital distribution in the music industry in general. What's up, buddy? How you
Yeah,
doing?
just hanging in there. I can't.
how's new dad life number 2 going?
Oh, it's great. You know how it is. There's no sleep. There's zero sleep, and when you get that time to go to sleep, something else happens. So
Well, you look good for somebody who's not getting a lot of sleep. I'll give you that.
I'm on the Peloton, is why. So like,
Oh, okay.
you might see me
Very cool.
blushy in here sometimes because I do the Peloton. Take like 30 minutes after the shower to relax, and then we jump on. So
Right on.
I don't want that dad bod. I have the dad bod, and I got to get rid of it. I got to go into the
Well,
40s looking good.
listen, it is a constant struggle for everybody, not just the dads, but I feel you. And plus, we kind of hinted towards a big surprise we got coming with the Orlando Solar Bears,
Oh yeah.
and so we're going to be visible. So yeah, I got to get on. Yeah, I got to get back in the gym too. So I totally feel you.
Yeah, I wish I can get back to the gym. It's just so hard with babies. It's the drive there. Even though we have one 10 minutes down the road with traffic, sometimes it's an hour. So like the drive there, the drive back. So the Peloton's helped. I ordered the tonal, and I'm waiting for the tonal to come in, and I'm just trying to do a digital gym at the Heezy, so I can just stay home.
Oh, you got fancy. And actually, what we're going to do an episode about health, mental health and physical health for artists as well, because a lot of people take that for granted, and that's definitely something that you all should be doing, is taking care of yourselves, because the touring life, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
Recording for hours on end, for days on end, can be a challenge for some artists too. So we're definitely going to hit an episode at some point about mental health and physical health. But today we are talking about marketing, which is one of the most important aspects of getting your music out. Everybody thinks it's sufficient to just sign up with an aggregator and put their music up on the platform and go, cool, I'm good. Nope, that's just the beginning. That is just the beginning. So today, Rob and I are going to touch on marketing strategies. What you should be doing to promote your music. Once you've put it out there. So, Rob, I think, in my opinion, one of the main aspects of promoting your music is knowing who your target audience is.
Right. Yeah, I do believe so too. I think that, and that comes from paying attention and doing your research on your data, and knowing who your target is. Even if you have your music handed out to your friends and family, and it's 5 people, those are your 5 fans. And then just go off that with your family and go to 10 people in your family, 20 people, and then they tell friends, and then stick with that target, because that can expand into your town, your city. And then when you get, like I said, that those reports and that metadata, and you see where your genres are coming from and the age demographics coming from, you can really zero in and target in on that marketing.
Yeah, that's so crucial, and we kind of touched on that, in another episode. But there are so many people who are like, "Oh, I make my music for everybody." Okay, but everybody is not going to engage with your music. Like, you have to be realistic about who is actually your audience. So, to Rob's point, know their age, their gender, their race. their economic status. There's, really look at your analytics to make sure that, that you're going after the right audience, because that should also tie into your brand.
Right.
Your brand should relate to the audience that you're going after. So, Rob, do you have any suggestions or advice on how do I figure out? I know you said check out your analytics. Is there any other way to determine who my audience is?
There once it depends on what socials you're signed up to, and it depends on and this is going for online, right? Digital. So it depends on like what DSPs that you are attached to and socials that you're signed up to, and then you can connect those to some fun apps out there like featured, or what is it? Feature.fm. They're a great one. Chartmetric, we've explained Chartmetric before. It's a big database, and then you can plug all your socials, your playlists, everything together, and start following those analytics. Going back to earlier in our episodes, it's very crucial to understand what's happening, performing. Is somebody boosting something on you? Are you boosting streams, or is anything
Mm-hmm.
along those natures you can see in those analytics? So I think it's very important that you guys pay attention to the tools out there that you can utilize, and understanding these applications too. I think it's very important if you're on Facebook and Instagram, know it in and out instead of just being on Facebook and Instagram and making a post. I think you
Mm-hmm.
get carried away with saying, "Oh, I market it, I put it on Facebook," but I mean, Facebook is just like any saturated music DSP. You get it to your friends and family, but if you're not doing like a video or something interactive, I mean, you're not really reaching everyone, unless you're putting somebody.
Mm-hmm. I think another thing, just to add on to what you were saying, another way to determine who your audience is what other artists are they listening to? As much as you would like to think, oh, my music is unique. Okay, yeah, but that audience is listening to someone else. So who else are they listening to? And start to, put yourself in front of them in those areas, wherever this other artist is. And we mentioned the demographics. I will stress the importance of psychographics, which is the lifestyle of your audience. Where do they shop? Where do they eat? Where do they play?
Right.
So you need to know more about your audience than just what they look like and how old they are. You need to know what they're into, because record stores don't exist like they did back in the day. Like when I was growing up, I could go to Virgin Records, I could go to Tower Records. What was the other one called? H and something. I can't remember what it was
Yeah,
called.
Dropbox, Drop Shop,
Yeah.
not Drop.
Well, there was Drop Shop here,
Drop.
but now see, here's the thing about Drop Shop and some of those were very niche,
Yeah.
independently owned record stores, which I know we're talking about independent artists right now, but a lot of people want to get their stuff mainstream and into big record stores, but record stores don't exist like they used to.
No.
And Target and Walmart and Best Buy have all diminished the amount of space that they've made available for physical product. So and the thing is your audience even going to the store to buy? You know what I mean?
Right.
So if they're digital, then what are they on? Which brings me to my next point, which is websites, mailing lists, and social media. Right, Rob?
Right.
Got to have those up and running and brand specific.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, even with us, we're getting our newsletter more fine tuned, and we're using an application called Active Campaign. And you guys should just go research Active Campaign. It's great. It keeps up with your mailing list, automatically puts it in there. And then you can send out your newsletters, like all automatic, So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a good tool that you guys should look into. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's all about your branding, right? I mean, again, you don't want to just put your music out there and then you have nothing to follow behind it. There's no good cover
Right.
art. There's no good website. There's no links to find them on social medias because you haven't been plugging into the social media. So therefore, you're not going to get any analytics and you're not going to get your demographics.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know what your fan base is listening to, like Monique's saying. When you go to a grunge concert, everybody's wearing grunge. If you go to a breakbeat concert, everyone has a backwards hat, forward hat, and they look like the breakbeat. If you go to house, they all look the same. It's because they're all following that trend. So I do
Yep.
think it's very important to follow that.
And understand that social media is just for marketing, meaning you're trying to get their attention, but you should not be putting all of your content just on social media. You must have a website. Not just because of social media, but you don't own the content that you put on social media. So your website, at least you can own the content that you put up on your website. In addition to that, you want to drive people to the website. So maybe you can sell tickets from there. You can sell your merch from there. So, try to understand, because if the other thing, more importantly, is if Facebook and TikTok and Instagram go down, now your audience doesn't know how to find you
Right.
if you don't have a website. So you got to have a website. And then the other part of that is the mailing list. A lot of people, I know I get irritated sometimes too when I get onto a website and they're like, "Oh, give us your email address." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go with some more junk mail." But from the business perspective, I understand it, because it's the best way to keep in touch with your audience. If social media goes down, you can send out an email. And like you were saying, you can send out newsletters without having to blast people on social media all the time. So get your socials and your website together and make sure they are brand specific. Make sure they are on target with what your brand is about.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. And going back to the mailing list, it's very important because you're more one-on-one active with that customer.
mhm,
So your consumer is one-on-one. You can hit them up individually. Chit chat with them if you had to get on the phone meeting. Something.
mhm,
Your fans are there. Your customers are there. So I think the mailing list is. I'm the same way. I don't like the spam emails, but then again, I love them for the business side of it because they're very knowledgeable and you get the point across. And if you had some issue with your brand and it's like, well, you weren't reading our website or you weren't paying attention to our newsletters,
mhm,
it's very important that you're paying attention to that stuff because
mhm.
it's there. It's not like if you're not sending it out and you're just telling like your fans, why didn't you do this? And they're like, well, we have no copy, no content to read, no anything, right?
Right.
You have to
Mhm.
brand at the end of the day when it comes down to that. But
And give them an incentive for giving you their email address and personal information. Like, hey, sign up on our mailing list and you guys get first dibs at tickets, or
yeah,
you get to hear about new merch first. Now you're giving them an incentive to want to be on the mailing list, other than, oh, you're just going to junk up my mailbox all the time. So just giving you guys ideas. I mean, what you choose to do is up to you, but we're telling you what you need to do.
yeah.
um Go ahead.
I was gonna mention in marketing. We ran a campaign with an artist, and what was really good about it is he had merchandise. This is just like a tool for you guys to take in, but he had merchandise, and we created a smart link behind it, and we basically ran a campaign for the merchandise. So you would stream Spotify underneath it. It had a link, and we did a minimum run of 100 T-shirts, and we sold out of every single one of them. So that offset the marketing campaign, the amount of revenue that went into that marketing campaign we made from the merch. So it evened out.
Hmm.
It wasn't so much of getting numbers at that point, but they had a physical product that they bought and went home with. And, I think that's important these days.
Absolutely.
Just a little trick that we did that worked. You guys can take it with a grain of salt.
Oh, we're going to talk about merch in a minute, but since we're talking about like social media and websites and stuff, a lot of creative people are not good at this side of the industry. They're not good at the marketing. They're not good at you know getting out there and really speaking to their audience the way they kind of should. So that comes to the next point, which is get a team. Figure out who in your circle, and if you don't have somebody in your circle, you need to start networking and get somebody in your circle who is savvy with social media. Creating cool videos for you, helping you reach your audience with the right content. Build your team. I nothing frustrates me more than when I sit down with an artist and they're just like, well, I don't know how to do that, and I'm like, oh, so you're just going to give up?
Yeah,
You're just going to give up?
give up. Yeah, no, and that goes back to our last episode is, ask for help. Like Monique saying, building your team, ask for help. Don't be afraid to look at someone else doing better and ask them for help. It's up to them if they want to reply, but still don't be afraid to reach out for help. I think it's very
Hmm.
important. I mean, we didn't grow Jamvana. Monique's not here for no reason, right? Lennon's not here for no reason. Mike's not here, and so on with our developers for no reason, right? So we had to build a team. One person just can't do the one man show, the jack of all trades. It's very hard. You might get somewhere in life with it, but it's just very hard to do it with a one man show.
All right. So, Rob, can you give a rundown as best as you can? In no particular order, let me be clear about that. What are some of the artist services available that a new artist should be using or looking into specifically in order to market their music?
I think it depends on what you're trying. Oh, so music. So again, going back to tying like merchandise in it, or your ticket sales or your website. I think you should look at services that have media and ad buys that you can create marketing campaigns like all in one platform. See your consumptions. See your demographics. See what's coming in and out. I think it's very important to understand. How to actually utilize ads these days. The marketing tools that are out there can really rank up. I mean, if you're paying for distribution and then you go pay for a smart link and then you go pay for ads and then you go pay for a link somewhere else on someone else's website or a link back or something like that, you can get very pricey. So I think it's very important to pay attention to these tools that are out there. Featured .fm is a good one. Chartmetric is another good one. I continue to say those because I utilize them and I think they're great. There's so many other ones. Tonin is a great one as well. Yok Digital is our sister company. It's a really great one as well because it's a demand side platform and it can get you on TV and digital billboards and your Forbes magazine, TMZ, whatever you want to narrow it down to your demographic.
Would you mind talking a little bit more about Yoke Digital? I mean, we can do another episode where you can walk people through it, but can you talk about, because they can sign up for that now, right?
Right. Yep. You can go to yokedigital.com and we'll put a coupon code in there for you guys so you can bypass the subscription model and give it a try. But, yokedigital.com is a demand side platform. We also have Facebook and Google integrated so you can run your ads on the social medias, Instagram, YouTube as well. And what the demand side platform is it gets your stuff on mobile and TV, the digital billboards, the native, the content, the video, the display ads. And then we can do a lot of geo targeting underneath that as well. So it really comes down to like, what are you looking to do, and what does your demographics look like? Do you have keywords that you want to punch in? Do you have the email list? Do you have a lot of IP addresses? We could market from IP addresses and geo target. So if I'm not
When
making
you say geo target, so just for those that don't understand those terms, what do you mean by geo target?
geo targeting is when you're taking like a radius of an area in your area, and you're really tracking down that location. So let's say
So it's location based.
location based. So say like in downtown Orlando, we want to market a club in downtown Orlando, and let's say that club is going to be packed, and the other club next to it is running the same exact night. It's electronic both nights, and but you want to market to that audience in that club to come over to the other club. So we can geo fence. So in geo target that block, that location, that area on a 1 mile, 5 mile, 50 mile radius, and we can geofence, geo target just that location only. It also works off IP addresses. If you haven't blocked your IP address, we can definitely send those ads right to the phones. And if you haven't turned your microphone off, if somebody is in that club and they mention something about you or that campaign, and everyone gets to talking. So when you come out of that club and you look up, you can see the merchandise of that artist, or the club for if they're doing competition. You can see the club. Maybe the club just wants to run ads on their club, and everyone at that other club packed out, but that club was dead. That club could have everybody looking at the other club on their phone, on social medias. It's like when you're going, like we're talking right now and saying, hey, man, I really would like to go on a cruise. And all of a sudden you go on Facebook and then that cruise pops up. It's because you don't have that stuff blocked, and we can really geo target that. So I know it sounds
Wow.
like a lot and it gets in depth, but we have a lot of gurus, a lot of techs behind us, and we can really narrow down your marketing in your area.
Which is really important because you may think that your hometown is where your music is popular, but really it might be 2 states away, and that's where most of your analytics are coming from, are southern states. So you might be living in Philly, in Pennsylvania somewhere, but really your music is really popular in Georgia and Texas and Louisiana.
Yeah,
So now you need to target, as the term Rob used, geo target those areas and really boost it up. That also helps you with
we get it.
touring,
Yeah.
so you know where to tour because you're going to make money in those areas. There was another, what about Media Base? I think is another one. I think they only track Pandora though. I have to double check that. I'll leave a comment when this episode is up and running, after I do some research, or I'll get Lennon to add it to it. But I want to say Media Base is another one that helps you with analytics, but I think it only tracks Pandora.
Right.
I'll double check that. But
That
so
makes
yeah, so
sense.
can you think of any other platforms that would be good? I mean, the Yoke Digital sounds pretty clutch. Um,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make sure they actually look up some of the stuff that we're naming here.
yeah. I mean, there's a ton of them. If you look into them, you just got to make sure they're doing it correctly, and you got to make sure that you're not wasting your money on something that's not going to work. The
All
one.
right, so if I'm an artist and I Google search, I'm going to try to Google search this. What am I typing in my search? What should I be typing to
So
look for?
that's dialing into what you actually want to market, because if you put in marketing, you're going to come up with a ton of marketing agencies.
Right.
Basically, have a white labeled DSP, and they're going to run ads, and they're going to really fine tune your website and look in and see the keywords and your competitors, and it's really good to go with a company that can do that, like us, like Yoke Digital can. But if you look up any marketing agency, I would do my homework on all of them, because there's always minimums, and marketing is not
Mm.
cheap. I think the lowest marketing that I've seen that gets the needle moving is like $2,500 a month, and even at that, that's low. So you got to understand marketing. $100 isn't going to move the needle. It's not going to push it much.
Yeah, there was a time when making the music was the most expensive part. Now it's marketing the music that is the most expensive, because you're doing it on your own. And I'm not condoning the behavior of record labels throughout history, but when we talk about how record labels are trying to recoup the money that they spend, when you see how much it costs to market and promote
Oh yeah,
every time you're releasing something, come on, like, the money is up there. So like when I talk to my students, and a lot of them don't take it serious when I try to tell them, put your budget together and make sure that you leave a nice chunk of money for the marketing, because like you said, $2,500 is a lot for a new independent artist.
yeah, it is.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And to get small analytics coming back, small data, you could obviously do your $20 campaigns and your $100 campaigns, and you can do your $50. You could set it at a lower budget. Again, it just depends. I mean, starting off, I would say if you're just starting off and you do want to get demographics, I would start off by putting your music online, getting those reports back, looking at your demographics, where it came from, taking that with keywords, look up your keywords, see how others are performing, put that into a marketing campaign with yokedigital.com, and then from there, start off small. Start off at $150, get those analytics back, keep growing to the point
Hmm.
you have a budget and go, okay, now I know where my demographics are. Now I know how I can set up a successful marketing campaign. And let me tell you, the DSPs, when I pitch features to them, love seeing this. They do not like just seeing, well, I put in a playlist, or I just did this. They love seeing that there's a press release. Here's the marketing, all the social medias. By the way, we're doing digital marketing on this billboard. Here it is. When they see all of what you're doing and you're putting that into your music, you're going to get that feature. They love featuring artists that are putting more into themselves as a business.
Hmm.
It's important,
And seeing that you understand how this works.
right?
It's just not sufficient to just be like, well, I just make music. Yeah, but you don't have the money to be paying other people, nor do you want to, because that's the other thing. Like, I understand, I know we said build a team, and you should, but you should build a team that's on the same page as you and understands the goal. But understand that at some point you need to compensate that team. If you get people to join you for free, kudos. But at some point, as you are building your brand and building your exposure, you're gonna have to pay these people. You should learn how to do as much of this on your own as possible until you need a team, because a lot of times this is stuff you can do on your own with minimal tools. You can create cool graphics using Canva. I use Canva a
Yeah,
lot to,
great.
create stuff to post on social media. And it doesn't take a genius to just, let me use this image, bah, 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 and you put it up. But definitely start budgeting. If this is really what you want to do, start budgeting. If you're making money from performances, side hustles, whatever, make sure you're setting aside money for your marketing budget, because it's not going to be cheap.
No.
Um, one thing we didn't mention, and really this is the last thing that I have, so unless you want to add to it, I can't think of anything else after this, but music videos. The need for a music video, I think, is so underrated. You need to make a music video. What are your thoughts on that?
I 100% agree. If you go look at the top 100 Billboard for as long as you can think of, they all have a video related to it. If
Hmm.
it's digital, if it's just something that relates to it, so your audience can go, "Oh man, that song and that video, just the video is better than the song. That's why I like the song, and I had no clue that person looked like this." And oh my gosh, so the videos are crucial. On top of it, it's another piece of art that you're putting with your music. So you're telling a
Hmm.
story with the videos. And I know they can get expensive too. Trust me, I understand. But I think that if you look at all the top performing, all of whoever you look up to and you go pay attention to what they're doing, that every single one of their tracks has a video tied to it. So I think it's
Hmm.
important. With Yoke Digital, we do videos. You can promote your video. I think it's one of the better ways of getting it to Google and your AdWords. And if you're signed up to AdSense and the whole nine, no one wants to see that generic artwork with a track behind it. That just doesn't work like it used to anymore. Yes, it can go out there, and yes, it can get shared, and yes, you can get something off it, but your audience really want to see visuals. And
Yeah.
you
It shouldn't be the only thing. Like, definitely
do
have it, but it shouldn't be the only thing.
exactly. It should, and you can do digital, like reels, and you can do 30-minute clip
Hmm.
videos, and then you can listen to the rest. Like that's how Post Malone Rockstar got really popular. They had a 30-second clip, and then and they just repeat it. Party like a rockstar. And they repeat it. Everyone's like, oh my god, I got to hear the rest of the song, and it had a
Hmm.
featuring. And then all of a sudden they dropped the video, and then boom. I mean, they had a lot of revenue that went behind that. But again, you can do clips, 30-second clips to get them entertained, or the 3-3-3 rule. You have them for 3 seconds, you're going to keep them for 30, and then you'll have them listening to your whole track for 3 minutes. So
Mm.
I do think it's crucial to do videos. And if you don't want to spend the revenue, like I said, on a whole production, do the clips. There's a lot of applications out there that are free, and you can do these fun clips, and then see if that's generating something on TikTok or on your Google, on your social media. And if they want to see more, then put money behind the full production and do a full on video. That
Hmm.
I think that's very
And a lot of our cell phones today have great quality cameras. You don't have to do a full blown production for your first couple videos. Like, you can absolutely come up with a concept, shoot it with your phone, or run a contest with your fan base. Go, hey, here's the single. Why don't you guys, you know, run a contest? Whoever makes the best video will get first dibs when the whole album comes out, or you'll send them merch, make sure they get credit for it, all that kind of stuff. Like,
right.
this is how you're engaging your audience, making them a part of your process. Make sure you're filming, behind the scenes type stuff that you can use, that kind of thing. But definitely make a video, and don't wait too long, which actually brings me to, I thought that was the last thing I had, but it's not. I lied. um,
We'll go for days.
what what we didn't mention in this whole thing, which I'm surprised I waited to the last minute to drop this in here, is the actual planning of the market plan. Get a calendar out,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Get a calendar
Write it down.
and write down on your calendar, what day are you actually releasing this single? In other words, maybe the song is already done. You've sent it to your aggregator. Okay. So you sent it to Jamvana. You told Jamvana, release this on June 30th. Okay. When your song is coming out. So you need to look at the calendar and go, what am I doing leading up to that song coming out to make people aware?
Right.
Are you teasing them with little clips? Do you have an interview set up with a local TV show? Are you, like, there needs to be the same way they do with movies, guys. When movies are coming out, what do? They create a trailer. All the actors go on a press junket where they travel around and they do all these interviews about the movie that's coming out. You need to do the same thing for your music.
I agree.
That's part of the marketing.
I
So
You have to have content ready and prepared. It's just like a
Mhm.
release plan, like we're talking about. Like with setting up a successful record label, you need to have about 3 months worth of releases ready to go for the next 3 months,
Right.
and so
Yep.
on. And then you need to tease it in between there. Like I said, the 30-minute clips, like Monique said, how they do movies and the trailers. You should go ahead and take a ton of pictures of yourself throughout on your
Mhm.
phone if you have to, and edit it throughout the whole month prior, and then you will be ready to release every single day. And there's schedulers out there where you can schedule everything,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and you can have that ready and just sit back and watch it, interact with your fans that way, so you're not having to post every single day.
Mhm.
And talking about tools again, Adobe Spark. And if you look up Adobe Spark, it's for artwork, very simple and easy, like Canva. But if you look up Spark, you're going to find some video apps on there, and you can create music videos and
Oh, cool.
short film clips and the whole nine. Adobe's amazing. It's all on your phone. And then just sit down and spend some time with it. I think it's
Mhm.
very fun when you start also getting into it. It gets fun. You got to wake up that
Mhm.
next day and go, man, I want to do this again. Man, I really enjoyed it. I need to do this again. You can't put it down
Mhm.
on the weekend and go, I'm gonna go party and have a good time, not thinking about it. Like, and then one day you're
Mhm.
depressed because you party too hard. Then you get to it the next following weekend. No, you need to be on that all the time.
Yeah, can't put it off. Procrastination is not your friend.
No,
And Facebook has scheduling tools, so you can go ahead and create posts and schedule them. Now, Instagram is a little bit more challenging. I believe you have to use a third party app, which even their programs get weird when you use a third party program, but they don't have it built in. So I don't know what's up with Instagram, but
so
I do know
Yoke,
Facebook does have, huh?
I'm gonna plug Yoke Digital one more time. Yoke Digital, you can schedule Instagram. So I'm just gonna throw that out
Oh,
there.
nice.
You're doing some marketing and some ads, and on your stories, you can schedule it in advance. So again, check us
Oh, this is good to know. I'm working with a country artist right now. These are the types of tools that, I'm trying to turn him on to these different things. I'm managing a different aspect of his career, but he's been doing a lot of his own marketing and he's just fantastic with social media. We'll have to get him on here sometime. But yeah, if Yoke Digital is able to schedule Instagram posts, by all means, I'm definitely going to use it and recommend it because Instagram can be a bit tricky with that kind of stuff. But Facebook, I use the Facebook scheduling posts all the time for different accounts that I manage for some of my clients. And it's a godsend because I get busy
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, we have to post. And I'm like, I already scheduled it.
yeah.
I don't have to worry about it.
Same thing with releases, like with Jamvana, we schedule releases. So you can put in all your releases and then sit back and market them throughout the whole year. We have a schedule
Mm,
tool underneath there as well. So it's important to
mhm,
have it. Again, what we're talking about here is marketing and just having a plan of attack. It doesn't
mhm,
happen overnight. I say take a good 3 months to write everything up, get your content, get creative, and then have it ready for the following 3 months. You have 4 quarters in a year to tackle it. By then, you should have your next year lined up, ready to go. So
mhm,
it's important to have
mhm.
marketing, guys. Everything is saturated these days, and even in marketing,
Yeah.
it's saturated. So, how are you getting through all the billions of people in the world in the music industry? I guess that's the question right here that you got to ask yourself. How am I going to get through to everyone? Is it going to be me saying something? Is it going to be a meme I'm going to break? Am I going to set up this marketing plan? And that's all coming down to marketing, right? So I think that I think what we're dropping on you is a little bit of knowledge, and you can take it for as much as you want. But no, this
Yeah.
is great. I love
And
marketing.
I'll just say be patient,
Yeah,
It's not going to happen overnight.
yeah,
It's going to be a trial and error process for you. One of my biggest strengths and weaknesses is perfection. And the reason I say it's a strength and a weakness is because, I'm a perfectionist. I like things to look good, which means I do my best to pay attention to detail. But at the same time, especially in this realm where you're just getting started, you may not have all the skills that you need, but you're trying. You have to be okay with it not being absolutely perfect. But as long as everything else on the list is checked off, it aligns with your brand. The quality is good as far as like audio and visual. You don't want to put something out that people are going to be like, this is I can't interact with this, and then they're not going to bother, and then you lost them. So I definitely say, take some time. And like Rob said, like sit down, write out your plan. and use a calendar, y'all. Like I got one hanging right here on the wall. I use a calendar
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
And I have a planner, one that I write in. Like I still use my cell phone and I put stuff in my cell phone calendar and I leave myself notifications and reminders. But there is nothing like writing something down because you actually remember better when you handwrite something. A lot of us get used to just with the with the phone, but write it down. You will remember that this has to be done. Create your daily to-do list. This is what successful people do, and this is how you will get to the next level with your music.
I agree, and writing it down is so important. You know, I do so much on my notes, and I have so much written down, and it's all over the place. But like Monique said,
Mm-hmm.
like I remember it, like it's in here at that point, and I'll go back to it. Where is it at? But it's very important to have that, and then write 10 things out. Don't overwhelm yourself in a day. Write 10 things out that you need to get done in that day, and maybe that's too much, maybe too less, or in the week, and then cross it out, like Monique said, and when you start crossing those things out, you're chipping at it little by little, and then you get to that
Mm-hmm.
finish line. I mean, look,
Mm-hmm.
Jamvana started in 2007 with an idea as a DSP. 2013, we switched our model. It's 10 years later in January. We're finally starting to get somewhere because we had to do baby steps. We had to chip at it. We had to find our right team. We combed through a few people. It's just that's all part of it. Nothing happens overnight. So don't get overwhelmed if it doesn't happen overnight. If you put a marketing plan together for 3 months and it doesn't happen that next 3 months or that year, don't get discouraged. Just keep chipping away out of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, at the end of it, you're going to see some light. It's just the way it is. I mean, people get there on that fast track. Sometimes they fall
Mm-hmm.
really hard. So keep that in mind. But I
So we
love.
want you guys to take our tips. Please let us know if you've used any of the tips or any of the uh, services that we mentioned in this particular podcast. Let us know how it's going for you. Let us know where you're struggling. Maybe we can steer you in the right direction, but we definitely want to. The whole point of us doing this is to help. And so we want to know that we're actually helping. So if you guys take our tips from any of our episodes, please let us know. We want to know how that's working out for you and what did you learn in the process, But marketing is huge. Marketing is important. You cannot get content to where you want it if you're not utilizing all of the different steps and aspects that come with marketing your music. So, once again, thank you guys for joining us in the Vana room.
Thank you.
And Rob, thanks for taking time from your sweet babies to do this. I know this is something you really wanted to do, and here we are. So hopefully, we are making a difference in the life of all these new artists out here.
Absolutely. And if you're in the Orlando area, make sure you pay attention to the Solar Bears. We're going to continue to talk about this because Monique and myself and our team are going to be very active. We're going to be on the streets. We're going to be on Church Street. We're going to be at so many fun events. We have a concert series coming up for the next 3 years. And I don't know if you guys know, but the Sports Center is getting built right now beside the Amway, which is super huge. And that's a big old plan. You guys just need to pay attention to that too. But we'll be in downtown. We'll be in the field. And oh yeah, and off topic, right down the road, Tinker Field. Orlando's in the run for Stanley Cup, not Stanley Cup, the World Cup to come here. I don't know if you know about that either. Drop a little knowledge on you.
Hmm.
But we are in the race, so we might have the World Cup coming here, and it's right down the road from us. And I think that's going to be fun. Which means we will be doing block parties on Church Street. And we
So if you guys get to Orlando, make sure you hit us up, reach out to Jamvana. I think our email contact information is down below as well. So if you guys come to town, if you're not from Orlando or Florida and you're coming into town, by all means, hit us up. Let us know. We love to have a good time and we love to meet the people that are engaging with our content. So let us know.
absolutely, absolutely,
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you guys later.
guys.
Bye.